Hey fam. All right. So welcome to my channel. This is your girl checking in on a Sunday evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Summer and I am a Christian woman. I go to the Promise Center here in Santa Rosa. Seriously, my church is amazing. There is the living presence of God in that place. And so if you don't have a place to go, or you don't know where to go, or you don't even know where to start, I totally suggest you go to my church, the Promise Center, Santa Rosa, 1211 North Dutton. The whole reason why I am starting this channel is because I feel like it's so important for representation to be had inside the church. And I know that when I started going to church, a lot of times I felt discouraged because I didn't see people like me there, or have people with similar stories like mine. And only in the recent months did I understand, oh, that's because you're an ambassador. I'm an ambassador for people like me. I am a Latina. I, have tattoos. I have a 13-year-old son and I'm not married. So I did have sex out of marriage I had it when I was 21. And I just really wanted to create a space where authenticity is more important than anything else. And I feel like it's so easy in our Christian culture to look to people and think oh, I don't see myself, in this space, and feel like you don't belong there. And so I wanted to let you guys know who I am, on a real level. I don't know if you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Summer's Blessed Life. And there I don't post a lot of videos or anything, but I got a silly heart and I love going to the gym and laughing. So, and I love real estate stuff. So you can catch me there. But for now, on this channel, I'm just going to be sharing my daily life authentically and what it's like to really seek after Christ consistently while being who I am, which is a sinner. So maybe this is your first introduction to Christianity, right? Or maybe you've been going to church for some time. But everybody on the planet, since Adam and Eve, shout out to Adam, everybody who's been born on this planet since then is born into sin. And I love going to my church. I love seeking God's presence, authentically. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I tell him thank you. I get on my knees and I pray. I spend time in my word daily. I seek after his presence. I seek him to be the buffer between me and every human interaction that I take part in, because I need that. And still, inside of all that, I still swear occasionally. I still yell at my kids sometimes. I may drink a glass of wine here or there, or take a hit off of a joint here or there. And it doesn't take away from my Christianity at all, in any way at all. I'm a Christian woman. That's who I am. It's not, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this channel, is because I feel like in the church, and I've seen, there are people that I follow right now that I love the way that they live. Their social media life looks so pretty, but I don't see any flaws. And I feel like to be a Christian, you're called because you're flawed. And a called is something that Christian women use, or Christianese is what's your calling? For me, it just means oh, out of nowhere, you might have this idea oh, maybe I should start going to church. I feel like those little ideas are really God tapping your shoulder. Maybe you should read that book. It looks interesting. And how easy is it to brush off an idea? Oh, well, that was a nice thought. Or you can pursue those kinds of thoughts. Now, the change for me in my walk with God started, like, so I met God when I was 27. Up until that point, I had like heard about God, but I never had a relationship with him. Excuse me. And then my first encounter, my first meeting with God was at the Promise Center. I was at a different place, is a different location at that time. And I remember walking in, my best friend in the entire world had invited me to church probably close to 1,000 times. And I had said no 1,000 times. And so then there was this one day where she invited me and she's like, no, it's bring your friend to church day. And I'm like, girl, I can't hop in there. I am a hot mess who will melt. I know church ain't made for me. I'm too wild. There's no way that I could get into that church. She was like, no, it's bring your friend to church day. You're not going to melt. We've like did melt proof stuff to the church. And so I was like, okay. So I go. Everybody there was so nice to me, so kind. And I had such an attitude. Like, I was like everybody's nice. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh my God, everybody here is fake. This shit is weird. Like, none of these people even know me and they're being nice to me. Like, I had the biggest attitude. And then, so I like go into the sanctuary and everybody's like worshiping God. The worship music's on and everyone's raising their hands and, you know, thanking God. And then I'm just standing there like, I gotta save my friend from this cult. Like, there's no way that this is normal. Like, this isn't, oh my God, you know, I'm freaking out. And then I see the pastor go on the stage and it's this like goofy looking white dude. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, I gotta sit through this guy's talking. There's no way that this guy has anything to say to me. Like, we totally have, this cornbread dude ain't got nothing to say to me. He doesn't know the kind of life that I've lived, or like, nah, man, this is gonna be a waste of time. Oh my God, I'm just roasting him the entire time he's on the stage. Me and my bad attitude, Lord forgive me. And so he's about like maybe 20 minutes into the message and I've just been like, oh my God, this is taking so long, like, and then there was probably like 200 people in that room and I don't remember what he said, but I remember like there was just a moment where boom, it felt like everybody in that room didn't matter, because everything he was saying was meant for me. That was the first time that I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit. Like, and that was the first time that there was this ice that I had on my heart that I didn't even know was there started melting. And ever since that moment, I was 27, I have been going to this church because the presence of God is real there. And the more that you lean into the real presence of God, the more that you're changed. And it's not even by something that you're doing. Like, yeah, there's spiritual disciplines that you can totally bring into practice. And oh, do I know it? Because I'm going through something super hard in my life right now, but it's my spiritual disciplines that are the structure that are holding me up. So there is that, but like, the more time that you spend with God, the more refined you become. The more refined isn't even, it feels like say you have a little kid and they go spend the day at the beach all day and their hair is a complete mess. And so then you come home and you got to brush it out. And I feel like the more time that I spend with God, the more he's brushing out my hair, brushing out all the knots, brushing out like all the twigs. And I was that kind of kid too, like tomboy, like out in the creek all day barefoot with my cousin, like looking for crawdads and, you know, trying to build a fort and like all that kind of stuff. That was definitely me. But that change isn't something you have to strive for. That's something that naturally occurs the more time you spend with God. And so, like, I met him when I was 27. I'm 34. I'm going to be 35 in July. And gosh, this place that I'm at right now with God is so powerful. And, you know, there were so many times at the beginning of my walk where I just felt like I didn't belong because I didn't see anybody like me. I didn't see, you know, a single mother covered in tattoos. I'm sorry, sole provider to an amazing son. I haven't seen, you know, covered in tattoos. I still cuss occasionally. Like, you know, I haven't seen all that. I always felt like to be a Christian, you had to be this like perfect, you know, always wear white and like, I don't know, like, you know, they never have dirt on their shoes or like, you know, there's just this image that I never saw. So I never thought it could be me. And just recently, God revealed to me, like, you know what, like, babe, you're the real deal. You are. And I'm not even saying that because I'm like, ooh, check me out. No, I know that I'm a Christian because I know that I need God every second. There isn't a second that goes by where I don't need him. And I know that. And it humbles me. There isn't a second where an interaction with him needs to be the screen between me and all other humans. I need all of it. Like, I am so needy that I need him all the time. And so I just wanted to make this channel for the people who feel like, oh, I don't think that I could ever, you know, I don't think I'm good enough to be a Christian, or I don't think that, you know, like Christianity is for me. Everybody in there is like, you know, too good. Or let me tell you, that ain't it. In fact, the more messed up you are, like the more you are a candidate for Christianity, let me tell you. And if you even have it in your heart to like start investigating a relationship with God, but you don't know where to start, message me. Let me tell you, message me. And I'm not saying that I, you know, have it all figured out, because I'll tell you right now, I don't. But I do actively seek God, and he already has it figured out. Think about this. God is not bound by time at all. He lives outside of time. And I'm super into sci-fi. Like, not super, but like, you know, I watch Star Wars, and Avatar is like one of my favorite movies the entire time. I'm so excited that the second one's going to drop in December. I can't even tell you. I like learned how to speak Na'vi. Like this, I'm so excited. And so just the idea of, like, I love Marvel superheroes. Shout out to Thor, Doctor Strange. Anyways, I digress. God is outside of time. God is the creator of all things. And if he created you and he created me, and we're these imperfect people constantly striving for him to lead us, then like, how could we not partner together? How could, you know, if you have any stirring inside your heart at all, like, well, maybe I should look into God, you know, whatever it is, any, like, grab onto that, hold it, and then take it to someone who really does believe, because then they can help you unpack that thought. And that's what I want to be. That's what I'm here for. Like, that's who I am. Like, there is nobody on here who ever needs to feel like they're alone, ever. Because you got a friend right here. This is your girl checking in on a Sunday evening outside in golden hour. Like, it's a lovely day. It's a great day to be alive. It's a beautiful Sunday. And so that's what my channel is for. My channel is for those people who feel like they're not quite perfect enough to go to a church, or maybe you are in church and you just feel like maybe there's some stagnant stuff happening inside of you, and you know, maybe you feel like you don't interpret the word well enough, or whatever it is. This is just your friend who's letting you know, like, I'm an imperfect Christian. Stay in the pocket, yo. Stay in there with God. Continue to press forward. Seek the revelation. Like, spend alone time with his word. And even if you're just starting out and it's 5 minutes, like, that's those little disciplines that you choose to implement really are the catalyst to great change and a different trajectory in the future. And so This is my channel. I'm Summer, and I'm gonna be putting videos on here. Like, I really like to break down, usually after I get out of church, I write down scriptures that the pastor preached. And today we had Pastor Jeremy Sharp. Actually, I don't know if he's a pastor. I'm pretty sure he's a pastor if he preached. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But Jeremy Sharp, yeah, he's a pastor because he preached. Dude, incredible. I've served with this gentleman, oh my gosh, my whole God life. Incredible guy who, oddly enough, like, is just doesn't necessarily think that his preaching is like the greatest when it really is amazing. Like, dude, every time Jeremy gets on the stage, I am like so excited because he just has this way of delivering the word. And today he was so on fire and reading people's mail out loud that the church was quiet. He was really preaching today. And so usually after I sit through a service, I write down the scriptures of the day, and then I'll go write them out later on during that day or in the evening. And then I'll try to digest what my biggest fruit is from that service. And so today, my fruit of today's service, and look, it's not super fancy. I just write it down. But today's fruit from the service that I got was to figure out how to properly assess value with the kingdom perspective. What are you choosing in your life as valuable, and what is it costing you? And that's maybe the food that you eat, or the shows that you watch, or the people you choose to interact with or have relationships with. That's what's searching my heart. And one of the scriptures that he posted was Luke 9:23, and this is what it says. I have the NIV version. Then he said to them all, "Whoever wants to be my disciples must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self?" Our calling is so precious that we are to leverage our lives for it. It's Jeremy Sharp. Gosh. And so I'm really here to deliver this specific message to people that Christ is here for you. Whether, it doesn't matter how much you make in a year. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes you wear. It doesn't matter how often you are able to make it to church, or how many cuss words are in your pocket right now. Christ is here for you. Period. He came here for people that are sick and need and sinners, and wrapped up in the daily life of the struggle, and who don't have it all together. And then there's just this crazy way that we live where we think people have it all together. Even those people don't have it all together. Everybody that is in a battle. All of them. And I'm one of those people that sits in the front of the church, sits in the front row. I lift my arms when I sing. I really sit up there because the band's really loud and I can sing as loud as I want. Also, because if I sit anywhere else, I'll get distracted. So I got to sit right in the front so that I can just look right at the pastor as he preaches, so that I can just really get the message right here. Because if I sit anywhere else, I'm going to notice so-and-so itching their head. I'm going to notice so-and-so checking their phone, all these distractions. So no, I sit in the very front. And this is my channel. This is my walk with God. I'm going to share it with you. I hope that this, leads you to know that you being imperfect is the perfect place for you to start a relationship with God. That Christ died on a cross for you, the imperfect, for you, the one who feels like they have nothing together and don't know where to go or doesn't know where to turn or who to talk to. God's the start. Dude, serious. God will change your life. And I am proof of that. That's why I can say it and mean it and know it, because I'm proof of it. I'm living proof that God can change your entire life. So bear with me. If you want to see more of these episodes, I'm going to be uploading my thoughts consistently on things. It's important to me that people see that Christianity is for everyone, not just for people who look like they're perfect. No. No. And I'm not in any way at all. And that's why I know that it's not for perfect people, because I'm right here. So thanks for checking in, fam. I don't know when I'm going to post my next video, but I will keep posting them. And just to reiterate, today's message, the fruit of today's message is to really assess. See, look, I got to write it down because I forget things all the time. Figure out how to properly assess value with a kingdom perspective. So what does God find valuable? And how can I posture my life to where I can bring value, God's kingdom value, to every interaction with every human? These are my thoughts. In the meantime, if you don't even know where to start, write me a comment, send me a message. You got your friend here, and you don't have to feel like you're by yourself, because you're not. So I will talk to you soon, fam. Thanks for tuning in.